Hello everyone, my name is Brandon Messing. Today I'll be talking about an international conflict and explaining the different examples of this using a real world example. The international conflict that's happening right now is with the crisis in Yemen. This is a civil war that is between the forces loyal to Yemen President Hadi and the rebels known as Houthis. This war came about from a couple of reasons. First, there was unequal access to power and resources for the people of Yemen. Second, some people in Yemen rebelled against the government with the help of the Houthis, who put tremendous pressure on the president of Yemen. Now you might be wondering who these Houthis are. They are a rebel group who make up 1/3 of the population of Yemen, so they're very powerful and they have the numbers. They were actually so powerful that they took over the government of Yemen for a little bit and actually placed the Yemen president on house arrest. Now let's take a look at this map of the Houthis' area of influence in Yemen. As you can see, they control most of the northern part. They control this part, but they have big influence throughout most of Yemen, but not quite towards all the way south. The capital of Yemen is Sahan, where all this war took place in the first place. The Houthis had so much power that they took over the Sahan, which forced the president to move the capital down to Aden, where there is no Houthi influence in that area. Now, why should the United States be so concerned about what is going on? Well, for a number of reasons. First, what's happening in Yemen is causing regional tension on that whole area, when this can make the threat of attacks be on high alert due to all this tension. Why would there be attacks on the United States? Because we back the Yemen president and what he believes in. Second, Yemen is has very strategic importance because it sits on the Strait of Bab al-Mandab. This connects the Red Sea to Gulf of Aden. This is where much of the world's shipments pass through. So the U.S. So the U.S. wants Yemen to be stable because, like I said before, they back the president. They don't want tension on this hostile area that could put them at risk, and because they want to safely be able to get to this world's oil, hard to be, which would be hard because of if the Houthis had control of this area. Now on to the descriptions of conflict as learned in Module 4. First, let's look at the type of war that's being held in Yemen. It's a civil war because the protesters and Houthi are fighting the military and people who back the president. They both want control over Yemen, which is why a civil war happens. I also think this is a guerrilla war because the Houthi would be considered a militia to me. They're going against the military of Yemen. Now let's look at the different levels of why this war happened, going big to small. First, let's look at the interstate level. It's the second highest level behind the global level. The interstate level has to do with power and resources. Like power comes from resources as an example. Yemen's power and resources are only in a few people's hands, which is why this war started. Also, I believe the Strait plays a big role, too, in that both sides want to have complete control over this. And this affects many states, which would be why it's at the interstate level. Second, let's look at the domestic level. The culture of Yemen has been in unrest and turmoil, which led to the point of this war. Finally, at the individual level, the people were raised in a corrupt setting, and many people not having access to resources led to the protesters and then the Houthis coming in and giving the protesters some hope that they'll be able to gain access to these resources. Now on to the one conflict of idea that is played in this war. This would be the ethnic conflict, because the people of Yemen don't feel like they belong to the whole state or country of Yemen, which would be that there is no nationalism at all, but they just believe in their ethnic group, which is what brought this war up, because some ethnic groups didn't believe with the government of Yemen, and some did, which brought the war. Finally, we'll look at the conflict of interest. First, we'll look at the control of government and how the rebels, they wanted the government to be changed, and the people that backed the government now wanted to keep it the same. The big advantage that the Houthis had over the control of the government was they took advantage of what is called a political vacuum, and that some people resigned from their positions in the government of Yemen. And the Houthis took over these positions, so they had some control, but they wanted all control. Alright, we will finally look at economic conflicts. This would be the goods and services, like I've said numerous times. People in Yemen did not have access to many goods and services, which led to starvation. And since the war has happened, famine has actually increased. So everybody is being put at risk now. The rebels want to have some goods and services and be able to have the power and have the resources and not have to worry about starving. And the Houthis have tried to explain to these rebels that okay, we'll give you this if you help. Thank you for watching my presentation on international conflict. I hope my examples helped out with my real world situation. Thank you.